Hey everybody, my name's Alex and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Geltor. We're the biodesign company that's behind some of the biggest brands in the world, and I'm really excited to be here with you all today to share the vision that we've been working towards over the past 6 years now, and particularly excited to do so during the session that's focused on sustainable food, planetary health. Those are things that we think about a lot and work really hard on every single day. That's me and my co-founder, Nick. We met back in 2012. We were both doing our PhDs in molecular biology in the same lab at Princeton. It was an awesome time. I like to say it was the summer of CRISPR, which was very exciting for us back then. And I was in this MD PhD program, and as I was going through the clinic, the thing I was trying to figure out was, why isn't there a Genentech for like everything, right? You go into the hospital, you see designer proteins that are like fixing diabetes. You see designer proteins coming out that are melting tumors. And you see designer proteins that would, drive breakthroughs in the lab. But what about outside of the hospital, right? What about the stuff that we use every day across our entire lives, the stuff that, fills our homes, the places where we work, the places where we gather, like this one? Why hadn't a really big, fabulous company been built that brought together biology and design for these markets outside of the pharmaceutical industry? And my co-founder Nick had an idea, a vision for answering this question, which was one biodesign platform that could make many, many proteins for multiple markets. And in 2015, we started Geltor. I moved from New Jersey out to the San Francisco Bay Area, and we got one bench, that's what you see behind us there, in a basement in San Francisco. And actually our first investor is here. I'm not sure if Sean's in the audience right now. But that's where this vision of one platform driven by biodesign for many proteins, many markets, first came to life. And 6 years later, millions of liters of biodesign proteins later, I am more fired up than ever. It is so exciting to see Geltor, biodesign, bioactive proteins headlining some of the most iconic products in the planet. And the first categories that we honed in on were these really big consumer markets like beauty, personal care, hair care, food, nutrition, and beverage. And those were the areas where we started to prove out this vision of one biodesign platform for many proteins. Along the way, we've zigged and zagged like startups do, learning what the most valuable problems to solve for companies, for markets, for customers are. And the thing it's really boiled down to is these conventional proteins, taken from animals largely, they simply lack imagination. And let me expand on this a little bit. When we talk to our customers, they're not happy to be limited by what you can, grind out of some pig's bones, or what you can, pull out of a cow's hide. Yeah, that's not what their customers want. It's not designed for particular performance specification. It's definitely not sustainable, and it's kind of gross. So in the absence of some other alternative, they're basically just using what's there, right? And the thing that we recognized was this is the status quo because biology has historically just cost way too much and taken way too long to deliver value. It's like order of magnitude off in terms of cost and speed to be able to offer value to customers outside of pharma. And that's particularly true in our first markets, consumer, right? It just does not sync up with their business cycles at all. Our customers, when we talk to them, they're thinking about launching a product next year, right? Not in 5, 6 years, hundreds of millions of dollars after an R&D project. They want to go, right? Because their customers want something now. So what does the world look like when you can bring a biodesign approach, when you can bring imagination to proteins and intentionality to their design that meets what consumers are looking for today at a speed and at a cost that's actually relevant in the markets that you're operating in? And that's the vision that we're building towards every day here at Geltor. You know, the first products that we made, they have made an incredible impact in some of the most iconic brands on the planet. We're really just getting started with what this platform can deliver in terms of value to our customers. There are some really cool things that we can do to demonstrate the power, the imagination that this platform can unlock. These are a couple of cool examples. One was, this is one of the first collagens we ever made. We brewed mastodon collagen and made de-extincted gummies, and I ate them. It was awesome. And that sort of brought to life the fact that you didn't need to be constrained by, you know, some animal that grows on a farm and that is slaughtered and then you get the waste product from to make something new. Another example is making leather from the collagen in a jellyfish that, again, we make through fermentation. We never met the mastodon, obviously, never met any jellyfish, and then bound a book that was auctioned off for charity. So these are cool, you know, concepts, things that really bring these ideas to life. But, you know, the things that we've really been, I think, maniacs about over the past 5, 6 years is being, you know, what I like to think of as just like real bloodhounds for value, for things that make a difference in markets that you can build a business out of. And we started doing that in beauty and personal care first. What you see here on the left is a lab sample of our very first Biodesign collagen for the beauty and personal care market. At the time, it was called N-Collagen. I came up with the name. It wasn't a good name, so we hired folks that were a lot better at naming ingredients than I was to solve that. But it tapped into something that we were seeing over and over again from customers. They were looking to essentially rip animal ingredients, specifically collagens, out of their products with things that could offer higher performance in an accessible way to consumers. And today, this is so cool. Like one of the biggest health and wellness companies in Asia, maybe number one, it's called Watson's. If you go into their stores, you know, in the airports in Asia, sort of, you know, across the continent, they have Watson's collagen products with Coloom on the front of the box, with Coloom on the front of the package, that is speaking to the benefits that this thing can offer, right? It's more powerful moisturizer than an animal-derived collagen. So this cycle of going from an idea to a product to landing on shelves, to having people taking, this is called a shelfie, actually. It's not something that you learn in grad school, but it's been really cool to see people connecting with products in this way since launching Geltor. So this is one of the first examples of what this looks like in practice and what it feels like in the market. And as we've dug in with customers, it's been amazing to see them continue to pick up the phone and call Geltor when they need a new designer protein. Something that we were again hearing the need for over and over was proteins that were identical to the collagens, the elastins that were in our bodies that could offer sort of the most, you know, potent functionalities of the stuff that's in us to consumers that, you know, were buying products for hair care, skin care, personal care. And obviously, there aren't people farms. So brands were in a tough spot. How do we get human collagen, human elastin? Who can we count on to actually deliver this? And that's where Humacol 21 and Elastipure came from. And today, these ingredients are in products that are sold across Asia, North America, Australia, Europe. It is amazing to see how these stories have connected with consumers, but more importantly, how the performance that can get delivered through Biodesign actually works and gets customers to buy over and over year after year. So the work in beauty and personal care has been really exhilarating over the past few years, but we're obviously looking to essentially take on this opportunity to build biodesign proteins market by market. And our most anticipated launch to date was in the food nutrition category. We had been really thinking about what the right way, the right time, right place to enter the food and nutrition market had been since we were founded. It's a huge passion for me and Nick to think about how we can transform, in many ways, the sort of broken, underperforming aspects of our existing food system with things that are beautiful, things that work, things that are significantly more sustainable. And in June of this year, we debuted Primacol. And this is the world's first collagen that's biodesigned, no animals involved in the process. And the response has been just overwhelming, candidly. It is so energizing to see the biggest brands in the world. These are visionary folks, but really big brands, thinking about how they can make their products more appealing to customers, right? If you go into any supermarket, particularly in the US, there are like so many collagen products on the shelf. How do you stand out? How do you stand out from a sustainability perspective, from a performance perspective? Similarly, there's an explosion of plant-based products in the supermarket, and that's something that really hasn't been able to access collagen as an ingredient, as a hero ingredient, until now. So Primacol has been an amazing first step for Geltor into the food nutrition market, and I just can't wait to share a little bit more about what's next on that front. So, we talked about the philosophy behind Geltor and a little bit about, the products that we started to take into market and a couple of case studies. But why are people actually paying for this, right? When you're building a company, you realize it is really, really challenging and a huge validator to see big customers make big investments, big commitments to creating their goods with your ingredients. And one of the things that's come through over and over is these brands are really turning to Geltor as an innovation powerhouse. And it makes sense when you look at where they're investing. It's 1, 2, maybe if they're rock stars, 3% of revenue in R&D. So they really need to count on companies like Geltor that are doing something fundamentally different that can add value so that they can compete, so they can maintain that edge in the marketplace. The second point is on efficacy, right? Customers, maybe they'll buy it once if it sounds like a cool story, but they're not going to buy it again. I won't buy it again if it doesn't work. And being able to show that in a head-to-head of Coloom and traditional marine collagen that's used in beauty, the Biodesign product is a much better moisturizer. Being able to show in, again, a clinical study that Humacol 21 does a really good job of increasing collagen in human skin, decreasing redness of skin, increasing elasticity. That's really powerful stuff that our customers can run with and that their customers can really enjoy and rely on. Sustainability is, it's table stakes now for our customers. They want to go see the data. They want to go see the math. How does what you're doing stack up to, what we could go and get from somewhere else? So it's been really exciting to show, even at the, relatively modest scales that we're at today, millions of liters, that we can demonstrate a more than 70% reduction in water use, 40% reduction in land use, and more than 40% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions compared to animal-derived proteins that are comparable. And then finally, none of our proteins use any animal inputs in the process. That's something that's important to me. I don't eat animals, but fundamentally, it's also just a good thing for our supply chain. We can talk a little bit about collagen later, maybe in the Q&A, but this is a protein that has suffered shock after shock after shock from supply chain disruptions, even before all this COVID stuff. So these are some great reasons for our customers to count on us. And obviously, we feel like we're just getting started here. We've got 4 proteins at commercial stage in the portfolio and hundreds behind that we're working closely with customers to prioritize, develop, and bring to market as quickly as we can. And the future that I'm so excited about is, building a company that can, on the one hand, bring incredible technical rigor and solve really hard engineering problems to solve valuable problems for customers globally. And that can answer some of these sustainability challenges that we're facing, but that can also just make stuff that's beautiful. I think that is so valuable as you're working to build a business and really pays, I think, nature the respect it deserves. A reverence for nature is something that is really important to all of us jellies. So what we're imagining is a future that is just simply made more beautiful because everything is biodesigned. And it's really counter to some of these images of mad scientists racing against a dystopic future. We're so excited about building something that is just fabulous with biology. And what's next? This is a little bit of a teaser, and I only got a minute left, but I never thought I would meet a bigger collagen nerd than me. And then we met Sally Kim. And she is really on this incredible mission to bring the science, the power of collagen to the world. It's something that she's already built one incredible brand around. And just a couple of weeks ago, we announced a partnership with her, joined the team as entrepreneur in residence to build something really special. So we can share more about that. I can't wait. But this is something that you'll see more of from Geltor. We've gotten to a place where this biodesign platform has been proven to be able to produce many proteins. We've been able to show its reproducibility and robustness at really big scales. And we've started to show how you can build awesome businesses on top of it. So now I spend a lot of my time thinking about how can we recruit amazing entrepreneurs to go and build valuable things that make the world more beautiful. That's all I got. Thanks so much. Here's my contact information, and I know we got some time for questions. Appreciate it.
Hi.
Hey.
So you are now our collagen guy.
All right.
All right, all right. So tell me a little bit. I also am still receiving some questions from the floor.
Okay.
But let me get started because we already heard from so many people today that they had the idea, okay, what kind of problem do we have and how can we solve it? And then they thought, wait a second, we need to check with our customers, what do they need? So you had this from the get-go and we're saying, okay, I go to the customer directly and say, okay, what do you need? How can I help? How was your approach?
Yeah, so the very first idea around the company was really, it was first, like a lot of technical founders, it was a technical vision, right? How could we go and build a platform, one platform that could produce many proteins, because the cost and speed of the existing systems was just way off, not going to work. And we got some really good advice. Again, I don't know if Sean's in the audience, but when we were actually interviewing for that accelerator program, they said, listen, this platform sounds really cool. One, you have to make it real. Two, who's going to pay for that? So instead of going out and pitching, the platform, go and prove that you can do something with a product. And the advice that we got from the team there was, a product is a product, technology is not a product, so go focus on a product. And that was a really important moment for us, a really great piece of advice, because that led us, the logical next step there is, go pressure test this directly with customers. And something that, we, I think, benefited from, we had a sense that collagen was going to become more exciting and that proteins in general were going to become more widely used as hero ingredients in consumer products. But collagen has just exploded over the past 5-6 years from something that was primarily popular in Asia Pacific and a little bit of a curiosity in other parts of the world to very big brands, Vital Proteins, just to name one, that's popular in the US. That was certainly a tailwind for us.
I would like to already take the questions from the floor. How is the N-Collagen different from natural collagen, and how was the biodesign principle applied in this example?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the product that we make, and this is generally true of a number of products in our portfolio, what we do is instead of in the animal-derived process, you basically take, the skin or the bones, and you extract the collagen from that. In that collagen is a mixture of interesting active components. And imagine like one of these rocks is like one is the active part, and like all the other rocks are just there, not really doing anything, just sort of filling space. What we do is go in and identify what is that rock? We're only going to go make that rock, and we're going to go make sure that that rock is suitable for the kinds of formulations that our customers want to use it in, right? You got to make sure that it's compatible with like the chemistry of the products that people are building. So the biodesign approach is, okay, what is like the right collagen within this sort of marine sample for our customer, both from an activity perspective, but also from a stability, sort of compatibility perspective. And again, that's really the case for a lot of things that we do.
And another question is, how many microbiome workhorses are you working with? Are they industrial or novel?
Yeah, we use one. And again, this kind of comes back to the original vision of one. And when I say one biodesign platform, I mean, one organism, one fermentation process, one downstream. We, in sort of the depths of COVID, literally took, different batches of the organism, put it into our fermenters, different protein comes out. You don't need to like rearrange stuff. So we use one, which has allowed us to see, the speed and cost benefits of the platform compound over time, right? So the first protein took like 15 months from idea to production, cost a ton. The second one was like 9 months. The third one was like 3 months. And so we're continuing to push the time and cost by focusing on a single platform. Now that means that we can't do everything, but we can build a portfolio that we're really excited about and that our customers are really excited about. We're focused in that way.
And you mentioned that you were producing stuff for beauty, but also for food.
Yeah.
And there's one question, really cool one. How does your process differ from when designing and producing for beauty than for food, given the low price points and regulations for the latter?
Yeah. So biggest difference is the scale that we're operating at. It's a really good question, and kind of the operating model. So from a manufacturing perspective, in beauty, the volumes are somewhat lower, right? Even for the largest volume products. So we tend to do those in batches or in small campaigns. In the food nutrition category, we're running the process back to back to back to back for months, right? So it's really a difference in terms of the operating style. There can be differences between facilities. End of the day, we have to make sure that it's meeting the regulatory quality requirements that we have, that regulators have for these industries. So there can be a little bit of a difference there too.
Thank you so much, Alex. We're out of time, but
Okay.
thank you for rocking with us the stage
Hey,
today.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.